I knew coming into this event that it was going to be very interesting based on what I was seeing from the Eastern meta with their priorities on like the Faceless Voids, Morphlings, and stuff like that. And then you had your Western scene with a lot of the Enchantresses, Lone Druids, more Death Prophet play. Who was going to have the better? Who was going to be the better in the end? And now we're seeing a little bit from each side here. Like, we'll try that Morphling out. We'll try that Enchantress out.
Then you've got Vici Gaming with Ice Ice Ice, only team actually running Phoenix, having a fantastic impact.
They're like, we're just going to do VG things.
Yeah.
And now they're in the semifinals.
Spirit Breaker, no one else is picking that either. So.
Yeah. I did see a lot of it in the, it's another one of those Eastern grabs. They're just like, Spirit Breaker's still good. They keep going for it.
It's a Fenrir hero. That guy is winning lanes for the team. Well, we do have game 2 ready. Let's see what the teams are cooking up here in the draft.
compLexity lead in with a Lone Druid and then a Lina follow-up. EG will once again get the first pick onto a Faceless Void here this time, and obviously well-deserved ban onto the Earth Spirit, but that means EG are going to be able to sneak in the Invoker. Interesting note, usually when EG end up settling for something like the Invoker, and settling for Invoker I guess is not a bad thing, but they will always prioritize a ban onto the OD here. So they haven't banned him at all. I wonder if it's something compLexity may consider picking up.
Has Limp been running it? I mean, we saw the Viper. He's known for his Razor as well. So I guess OD kind of fits in that mold of a bit of a lane dominating carry, but the OD takes a little longer to truly come online and is not as good of a 5-man hero. If you go for the super build where you get the drums and BKB, once you have the BKB, you can fight really hard. But
so do you think maybe like a Death Prophet would suit their needs better, heavy push, and could hold on the mid lane?
Maybe a Death Prophet, maybe a Viper again would. I mean, I still think Viper is a pretty decent pick. Good against the Invoker's magic damage, aside from the pure Sunstrike, and not easy to burst during a Chronosphere. So Viper might still be an option. It could also, I mean, it could even be like the Limp Lina potentially.
That's true.
So it's hard to say. It looks like compLexity have tried to address the draft a bit. The Earth Spirit ban, I think that's very warranted. We're seeing more and more exceptionally strong Earth Spirit players. I mean, it feels like almost every team has one. Vici has Fenrir, EG has Fear. Of course, there's Jerax for Liquid. Like, every team knows how to run the hero at this point, or if not, is definitely banning it first phase. So because of that, EG also probably would have gone for the Lina, but it gets block picked by compLexity, and instead they go Invoker, so they want damage to dump in the Chrono. They banned 2 heroes, though, that you would not see these banned against, like, say, Alliance. They banned the Darkseer and the Beastmaster, so they're expecting the 1-position Lone Druid, which is definitely a different twist on the hero compared to what we're normally seeing.
It is compLexity, and they love to run things at whatever they feel is needed for that particular game, regardless of what everyone else says is the standard. So we'll see. Rubik, though,
they're
gave me
hipsters.
the follow-up here. They are hipsters, essentially.
Brian would be proud of them. Mr.
So Rubik here and now. Why? Why with the Rubik? I mean, is it just because Chrono's a great steal?
Good setup for Lina as well.
Great push. You know, Null Field does contribute a lot to their whole team being able to 5-man together.
That's a good point.
But outside of that, you know, people have always felt like Rubik is still, I don't know. It's like I feel like you have other more justified supports who could just do their job right. Like lately, Witch Doctor, for example. Like, you know, Witch Doctor doing great here. I mean, Witch Doctor's even good against the Faceless Void because, you know, pop down the ward and he's not going to be doing anything in the
Start
Faceless
the Rave off the right way.
Yeah.
Oh, this I like for compLexity, though. Chen gets grabbed. Was it banned last game or was it just ignored? No, they'd already picked Enchantress, I guess.
Probably
But
just ignored.
Chen is so good in this patch if you have someone who can play it well. That Chen Lone Druid combo, like, this is not something generally you want to be giving away. Comes online super early, can win the lanes, doesn't need the farm of an Enchantress to have a really strong impact. So I love the Chen pick. With the Null Field, as you mentioned, the push is going to be coming super hard for compLexity. And Lone Druid, while you can't necessarily kill the Void, can definitely harass him a lot more just with the constant sustain. So EG, their trap card will be played now, grabbing the Bounty Hunter for the counter jungling against Chen. But he is not good against 5-man Dota unless you can start getting those initial kills. So,
well, if he did it last game,
needs a good laning stage.
He did it last game, so I guess they're comfortable enough to kind of put it his way. And you know,
this game I feel like is almost the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but it's definitely different from last game where if EG do not have a good laning stage, they're going to get just destroyed by the push. They do not have nearly as much deep push as last time with the Ice Blast.
I hope.
And the Lina.
I mean, maybe PPD is still very confident with what he's got the step so far, but I can't help but feel like, man, what if I just had been to go for the Witch Doctor at that point, or even he frequents the Winter Wyvern, and very good against the lineup that they have now. Chen creeps with a Lone Druid and his Bear. A huge Curse would just instantly delete a hero, and he is one of the the kind of drafters that would still go for it here. So, hopefully, he's not feeling like he bit his tongue or stubbed his toe and committing too hard for the Dazzle too early. But
they don't want the I mean the Dazzle's a safe pick. It leaves your options open, and when they see the Chen, like they just can't afford to let that hero come online. They could have maybe tried for an AA, but I think that's too reactionary, and it still plays into complexity's hands. And ultimately, Ice Blast is not really that good against the Bear because it's just so damn tanky. So Complexity will ban out the Sven. Now, I guess the
Sven seems like an interesting ban because I feel like it's anti-synergy with something like Faceless Void. It does make it a bit tricky.
I mean, in theory, if you get like the Chrono where they're all on the edge, it can work. But yeah, in practice, it's not that reliable. I think maybe they're banning him more for the Warcry because they want another physical damage.
Maybe
dealer.
they still want to get DP, Death Prophet, and keep this. No, I guess not. They already have the Rubik. That's right.
No, so yeah, it's gonna be Rubik Chen support. So it's Lina mid for Limp. So they need the. Unless Swindle's playing the Lone Druid. I mean, maybe that's a curveball they still throw out there.
Just feel
Seems
like
EG
why
did
else
not
would they
expect it.
fear the utility factor of a Sven? So I mean, maybe I'm
Juggernaut?
dissecting it too much.
Juggernaut
yeah.
could be really good this game.
Yeah.
Safe lane Jug, off lane Lone Druid.
10 seconds remaining.
It's also quite good against. Oh, they're gonna go Slardar. So they get a better initiator here.
Well,
Not as much sustain.
If EG had a Sven, they would have had an armor response for, I guess, Slaughter's amp damage, but yeah, still
It does
nonetheless.
explain. It does explain the Sven ban.
Okay, so now EG here, they're looking for their Arteezy grab, someone to contribute from the outside.
I speak for the trees.
Never mind.
Really?
That's a
Interesting.
safe lane farming Faceless Void and Nature's Prophet
This is
off
like
lane?
this is like the throwback to the
No,
Sylar, the
he's
Sylar
playing it.
Prophet. This is like what Vici were doing at TI4, where they got to the grand finals and every game Sylar Nature's Prophet. But
I was
very
asleep
different.
at that point, I think. I didn't really watch.
That was like an
Okay,
hour-long
I know.
series. How could you be sleeping?
But has Arteezy played it? I mean, maybe in practice,
man.
but he is playing Nature's Prophet here.
That is a tough. It's not an easy Prophet game again. Once Slardar gets a blink, you got to be very careful. They're gonna need. I mean, again, like last game, it was Fear who made the biggest plays, I'd say, in the Earth Spirit, and I think this game, even more pressure on Fear to have a huge early game impact. Has to shut down the Chen, has to keep eyes on the Slardar for the Prophet to be able to split push, has to get good wards up in the mid game, and basically is the only hero that can go around doing that stuff.
So do you think this was a premeditated setup by PPD and EG to pull out this Nature's Prophet now, or do you think this was a reactionary thing where they kind of felt like they got pigeonholed into a
I
situation?
think it's a reactionary. We need to slow the game down. We need split push. What can Rat that has a fairly strong laning presence?
Man, it's just because like you had like Morphling out there, I believe was an option too.
I think he takes too long to come online against the
Yeah.
complexity push.
So they're all in for like an earlier game. I mean, the timing for Complexity is also very good. Where they
wanted-
don't have to go very.
They
late.
wanted a Rat hero that comes online as quickly as possible. Is how
Okay.
I'm reading the pick.
This
And
is going to be fun though.
yeah.
Arteezy-
This could be a feed train for Arteezy. He needs to be careful. If Swindles has a good start on the Slardar, things might get very ugly. And that's the thing with the Chen is you can easily secure that lane for him. Like there's no way EG can shut him down if they want to devote resources. And with the Lone Druid, who doesn't need that much help, you have a lot of freedom for the Chen this game. So I really like Complexity's draft. I think EG can take it if you see like that Miracle type Exhort Invoker just constantly split pushing aggressively, and obviously the Prophet doing the same thing. Get some deep wards up to dodge the fights, but if Complexity's push engine gets rolling and they start finding picks with the blink, it is going to be lights out very early for EG.
And one of my initial impressions on that, something I was going to say, but then I like remembered myself. You can't look at Arteezy as like, oh, I don't see him a lot on micromanagement kind of heroes, but you got to remember there was the Golden Naga era, so this guy's got micro skills. He's not just like a one-on-one matchup kind of a guy, or I'm going to get my farm, I'm going to carry my team. I'm excited. So.
Forget about micro. Just go Cliff Jungle, man. There's that new sweet spot. There's the double Cliff Jungle option on the Radiant side over near the Ancients. Just chill there, kill the big camp, kill the Ancients. Easy.
He's going to have a one-on-one matchup, it looks like, here with the off-lane Lone Druid. That's going to be something interesting. Already, of course, Fear on the prowl, but they have the Sentry there, and he just blocked that, thank you. Walks back out and away.
Fear is so good.
He's so dirty. Goes in there, and again, just a lot of hate for any sort of jungle play from the side of compLexity. And
Interesting to see the Invoker go for the Quas at level 1. We generally see Exhort just for the last hitting potential, but I guess is expecting to get harassed a lot by Limp in this matchup. Lina pretty good early harass.
what was it? Yesterday we saw we play the Invoker, and he did not change over. He went with the branches still. He didn't want to go with the Fairy Fire grab up. It was very interesting. I mean, there was some ways to
I'd say the
justify
vast
it.
majority of players are getting the Fairy Fires and
But with the
Null
branch,
Valley
you
right
can drop a tree and eat it for extra regen.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Jesse?
Make your supports plant the trees for you. That's how you do it.
Okay. Hanskin now getting a bit involved early with his Chen in this lane, and it's a hot micro mess here. There's so many creeps to kind of acknowledge at this point. Looks like Chen will take his business elsewhere right now.
So top lane is a Void Dazzle against Slardar Rubik. Not really the easiest lane for Slardar, to be honest. Rubik, not a particularly strong laning support. You're not killing the Void.
No, not at all.
The
Not with Dazzle.
Dazzle is always going to sit behind him anyway, so you're not going to likely be able to get on the Dazzle. So,
And they have that camp pull to work with. It looks like they're going to be going for that pull too. No? Oh, okay. No. Well, they still have plenty of creep equilibrium to work with here. So this
I
is
like this lane a lot for EG. I don't
Yeah.
think like Swindle's already only 5 CS in 2 minutes in the safe lane. You run the Slardar safe lane. You're ideally hoping to just get free farm, but it will not be a free farm lane. So far, I'd say EG off to a pretty good start here. They slowed down the Chen quite a bit. They Bounty Hunters had a decent impact, but
They
now
poked at
comes
bottom.
the tricky part where Chen goes back to his jungle, and now Fear's got to go play peekaboo.
Let's see where he wants to pop up next as he hangs around mid lane here.
There's no sentry mid though.
Yep. He's now.
There's definitely kill potential with the
Oh,
Oof.
yeah. Okay. They got it. Yeah, nothing that can be done. Already Cold Snap going to be coming in. He does get a good stun. Keeps him back, but Sunstrike. Oh.
It
sidestep. And
almost
Hanskin
enough.
shows up, but it's not going to be enough. And first blood. Going to be going the way of EG for the second game straight, this time for Sumail.
That's the thing is it's very easy to get tunnel vision. You see the Bounty Hunter pick in reaction to your Chen. You're like, okay, he's going to be following Chen around, but then he could just as easily roam on mid. So.
And then top maybe, as he starts
Already?
to creep in. And there is a Rubik that they ping out, and Universe begins to go, but Rubik is heading out the good direction and away from Fear. And one dash from Fear, and it would have been enough. But now they change course. Z-Freak re-engages when he sees Swindlemel is committing in, so that's going to be the end of him. And now PPD looking to avoid trouble. The stun comes out from the Chen creep, and Hanskin looking to get involved will assist in taking down PPD, and he'll walk away here. So it does turn into a 1-for-1.
Yeah, worth mentioning that Universe has gone for that bash point early on. We've generally, like, the Voids that get left alone will almost always go for the time dilation level up over that. But this is an interesting adjustment, I think, well advised, given that they have such a strong off lane. And bear in mind, the Prophet can join that lane at any point, so compLexity got to be careful not to get swarmed, as he is going to have a fast level 6 this game.
Look at this bottom lane here. RTZ 17 and 5 CS.
He's already got his phase boots. Actually, really hard for Lone Druid to deal with that until he gets his level 6.
They are going to get the D ward on the camp, but it does not spawn anything, and that is going to be unfortunate for the Lone Druid. And now wasting time, he has to step back away from the camp, go back to the lane once more. So it's looking
That
like
camp has been the bane of compLexity's existence.
really
this
has.
series.
It's been a great addition for a lot of offlaners or anyone working with the lane, but then when it's taken away, you're like, oh, come on. We just got this nice gift, and suddenly you realize that it was almost a crutch for your laning phase.
So Arteezy gets the early robe. I imagine we're going to see the drums build. It could maybe be the Orchid, but I think more likely just wants to be able to fight early.
Yeah.
It's compLexity making their move on mid. They're going to tango through, look for the lift, but there is no opening. Sumail tucked away in the trees. Very nice positioning.
Swing a miss here for Cole. And Fear says there might be opportunity to make a go for Hanskin now.
Oh, if they can get the cold snap with the Forge Spirit, that's an easy kill.
The creeps are a bit too far.
Maybe it's a kill without it.
Comes in. They got the cold snap now. They need a bit more here, and they're not going to get it. Fear is pursuing, gets the shuriken off, and will help insisting the kill, but in the end, Sumail will be the exchange, and they might be able to get the grab on the Fear. No, a sidestep avoids the LSA. They drop another sentry for this, but here comes PPD to the rescue.
They have a slave soonish, but
Whoa,
not going to
happening.
connect.
Still, though, a better trade for Cole. They commit a lot there, but it does open up a bit here for Chessie, and
they force the Dazzle TP as well.
yeah, opens things up also for Swindle here at the top lane. But Universe has already had the lane laid out for him. He's 3rd in CS on this, what was a dual off-lane void. 25 and 5 CS right now.
Yeah, and as mentioned, Slardar was not going to have the easiest time. He's still getting his levels. He's got his quick level 6. Remember, compLexity can always look to sneak into the Roshan pit, and if EG don't have Chrono, it's actually not that easy for them to contest, especially with the Quas Exhort Invokers. There's no early Tornado combo to work with.
Does require a little bit of pre-planning here. There's a bounty hunter on the other side, so sentries down, vision up, and gotta find that right timing window. But you're right, compLexity do have the early Roche potential. Fear now, stalking out bottom, waiting for Arteezy to come in to assist. Waits for the first jab. There will connect. Shapeshift comes out. Sunstrike's already there. It does connect, and oh man, here comes the Wrath of Nature, and it will secure the kill there for Arteezy. 4-2 now.
Oh man, if he was already in ult form, he lives there. But meanwhile, top lane looks like the wraparound on Universe. Do they have any kill potential here? There is a Rubik. Lift into the crush, and my god, that amp damage. Yeah, he needed to get the time walk off that. That's one of those kills, if that's the old Void, maybe he gets a lucky backtrack and you don't do any damage to him, but in some ways he can be more killable nowadays, especially with the amp damage.
Ward wars continue in the mid lane. Limp will get the final say, and we'll feel a bit more comfortable about Fear being around. And will not be caught out from the pesky bounty hunter here.
Yeah. It's been interesting to watch the Lone Druid. Some of them are always getting the Iron Talon, like even starting Iron Talon in some cases. We see others build into it in the lane. In this case, Chessie just opting to skip it, going for a more defensive build as there's a Chrono top lane onto Z-Free, caught out and blasted away by the Sunstrike. Good connection there. So what is Arteezy going? He's saving up quite a bit of gold. Is it going to be the Orchid? Is it the Blade Mail?
Oh,
I think more likely the drums, but not spending his gold yet.
Limp's there, and Laguna
Oh, he didn't spend it all.
will put him down.
But it does look like he's going drums. He has the actually did buy the circlet, but that was it.
So he's going to be very proactive. Very fight heavy here. Before Cole can get any sort of real 5-man going, EG are hoping to peek before that Sunstrike will hit, but it's not the biggest damage. But with the assistance from Fear, it might be enough, but they drop another sentry. They keep coming out of nowhere, and they look to go for Fear. Fear kept alive from the grave, but ultimately will go down. And now it's compLexity on the move, looking to get the catch right here. Universe splits up while PPD takes the low ground.
Oh, the timing for that sprint to run out. If he had just a second or two more, might have been able to go in instead. of Tansky in a lot of trouble. There's a Prophet ult ready to go. He's going to summon the Trance, pops the ultimate. The Crush comes through onto 3. Lina stun also on 3. The combo plays from Call, but Swindle very, very low. 1-2 auto attacks will finish him off. Can't get off the follow-up Crush. And EG salvage the fight. They get a double kill, in fact, on the Prophet. But while that was happening, Chesty's like, wee-hee, free lane for me, bottom. Takes the tower, working on the tier 2.
This is crazy.
The power of the Lone Druid.
He's a demolition man down there.
He's been left alone for a really long time.
That's you know, when you go very battle heavy with your Nature's Prophet, eventually you're gonna have to ditch the lane. And look at that, he gets suddenly rooted, and he's like, I'm not really in fighting condition anymore, and I gotta get the hell back. Oh man.
Almost killed Arteezy. If he gets one root, he's. Oh, actually, there's the grave now. So Chessie, what is the build gonna be here? It's almost always the Iron Talon somewhere along the way, the Midas, and then
Midas,
the
Radiance, yeah.
But I don't know. I'm wondering if he's even going to change it up. Seems like that's the very established.
What would be the change
build.
up? Like go more utility just to kind of even accelerate the farm that much faster?
I'm not sure, but he's not spending any of his gold. I feel like Iron Talon is core, just based on what I've seen. It seems to accelerate your farm a lot.
Add the Ring of Protection, so we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe he tries to rush the Relic.
There's the drums now for the NP. And I imagine the Faceless Void will soon have Chronos up, and they might just kind of go for that classic pickup potentially they had before with the Chronos Sunstrike, but they're actually putting a lot of that to use already mid lane, and they are going to get Limp. Lina goes down.
Yeah, this is what EG are looking for, is just the very disruptive movements. TP on the Prophet, suddenly the Bounty Hunter pops out, and a Sunstrike comes through. So you never really let compLexity group up is basically the game plan at this stage, and they're going to find the Chen here. They do have a Chronosphere ready. Easy takedown. Sunstrike's ready.
And bops him once. Gets the Chrono off. Gonna get lifted though from the outside, but here comes the Wrath of Nature. Big damage on the Handskin. Handskin. Boom! Gonna get bopped right there. That is a track kill going the way of EG right now. Swindle looking to interfere. Gets sprouted up, but is quick to chop the tree down and make it out to safety. Another grab for EG and more money in the pocket as the track begins to come out. And they also got that tier 1 tower, so good economy boost here for the boys in blue.
Arteezy's playing really well, and they're playing really well around the whole concept of the draft with the Prophet joining fights all the time. Everything's built around just this global pick-off lineup. And for compLexity, I think the big thing is just getting the blink on Slardar and then successfully using it to find a pick, and then either take a tower, maybe walk into the Roche pit. Now they have the tier 1 down bottom, but they are entirely about Swindle as far as their setup and tempo control goes. And the blink is coming fairly soon. But again, for a safe lane Slardar, you would have expected to have it by now in an ideal world. Just Void is actually tough to last hit against. He gets his really high base damage, can't really zone him out of lane, and until you get the up damage, you don't have kill potential. So because of that, Swindle has not had the easiest time getting this blink.
So the first item grab for Chessie will be the Midas. So farm will be coming together here, building up towards the Radiance. He has a later peaking time, though, where compLexity are waiting on the, as you mentioned, Swindle blink to be the key initiator here. I'm curious, the Chen, is it a mech game? Yeah, I mean, he's got the headdress already, but is obviously...
They don't have anyone else to build it.
Yeah, but it's obviously not going to be coming in due time. He has been forced to be a lot more proactive, whether it be the game plan for compLexity or not. He has been very responsive heavy, probably because of this bounty hunter on the other side just being such a pain in the bum.
Yeah, Fear's done a great job of shutting down the Chen. He is the lowest in net worth in the entire game. That is not very often that you see a Chen 10th in net worth at this stage. They are trying to use the Blink Dagger here, though, on the Slardar, looking for the rotation towards the mid lane. Swindle sprinting. They do get a ward down.
Can't find an opening, though. Sumail lurking in the trees here, not making anything too easy. And PPD, gonna get spotted out. Jumped, crushed, killed. Universe looking for the response. No Crony yet. The second one will come out. It's going to be on the Swindle with the Sunstrike assistance. And you see on the right-hand side, Arteezy getting jumped on. Oh, not going to be able to make it back away. It is going to be taken down there with the assistance coming out. Limp gets that grab and turns into a 2-4-0 trade, it looks like.
Are they done yet, though?
They're still swimming around right here. Here comes Chessie.
And now the Chrono's on cooldown.
Yeah.
compLexity could be really aggressive. This is a great timing window for them.
Advantage in numbers, Chrono on cooldown. This seems like an easy formula for some tower takedown
Fear
here.
looking for the Shuriken.
Nice bounce off the creep. The bank shot coming out from Fear. Nicely done.
He is having a hell of a series.
He just seems to fit the same kind of player profile like we were seeing from Jerix.
Or from Fenrir.
Fenrir, Jerix, you know, Bounty, Tusk, Earth Spirit. Very good with these high proactive initiating kind of heroes. And here we go, Universe helping the Grave. Time Walk, he's got the life back. He's good. Time Dilation, and the Bear's going to have to be.
And they're on the chase in the mid lane. They are trying to hunt some heroes down. Sunstrike is going to end up getting the Chen killed. Sumail with the pick off. Swindle's first to run, and all of a sudden EG right back at it, heading the other direction with the numbers advantage as well.
Swing and a miss for the LSA. Limp looking to retreat, but they get the track off. They get the move speed. There's the track. Fear looking to go in, but a jump crush comes from Swindle, but he's got very low life. He's got to sprint away, but no, he goes down. That's more track gold now going for EG.
Oh, they want Limp. They're going to go for it.
Oh, they get the Sprout. He tries to sidestep the stun, gets Lagooned up, gets the heal, and they will get that one. And another
the wheels coming off here for compLexity. These kills they cannot afford to be giving away. They're not even done yet. They're going to track Z-Freak one by one, getting picked off. Too much gold into the evil genius coffers. Ouch.
Is it not done yet? Sumail briefly rooted up.
That was some big miscommunication there. Swindle goes in for the Blink Crush. He was definitely expecting the Lina to turn and go for a kill with Laguna, but Limp just wanted to get the hell out. So that was not compLexity being on the same page, and it really comes back to haunt them. I think they just stuck around too mid, honestly. They'd gotten their kills, could have just backed away, but were a bit slow to do it. And then against Track Gold, against the Prophet TPN, you are never safe.
And that fight creep recap just does not justify the amount of gold that EG just brought in, all that track money.
Ouch. And Calls still have a long way to go until they come online. The Lone Druid still is not even close to the Relic at this point. Only 1,200 gold up. And I would say it's a pretty decent Lone Druid game, but it's always a hero you want to be the leader in net worth. When you're 2k down on the Invoker, Invoker has a lot of tools to do with the Bear. It's going to be tough.
So now EG just we're blessed with a huge surplus of income. I saw Fear just straight up buy his mech. Is it time to go now for EG? I mean, do they
just keep
dare
on
risk?
I think they just keep on doing the same thing. Find their
Yeah.
pickoffs. Try to kill the lone druid if you can to delay his radiance as much as possible. But you know, it's not like they're under the gun. Even if lone druid had his radiance right now, it's not. Well, I mean, now would be really early, but in the next couple, like 5 minutes, it's not like it's game over by any means. They can always rat is the thing with the bounty hunter giving them good deep wards and vision, and then the prophet and the invoker split pushing. So a lot of options for EG.
Probably waiting for it look like a Vlad's to be complete onto Universe here. Complexity though trying to get something rolling. They smoke up towards the bottom lane, but EG nowhere in sight. They are actually taking their business to the top. So in the meantime, see Z-Freak making the most of it, planting some nice deep wards here on the side of EG. But as we saw in the last game, this could be where EG are just like, that's fine, we'll just take up more residents on the complexity side and continue to poke through the mid and top lanes and eventually shovel you back into the high ground. But this time complexity have a team that push a lot harder and a lot faster, so EG need to really read out these, you know,
they want to force some
mini
TPs
base
back
races.
bottom. We're going to keep on going here for complexity. But meanwhile, Fear's got other ambitions. He's going to track up Swindles. He gets the Blade Crush up, but then Arteezy Rise with the Orchid debut. Does sprout him up. Shuriken bouncing through Soulburn. Is going to take him low. Sunstrike coming through, and ooh, Swindle just barely able to dodge that one, it looks
Look
like.
at that, a tier 3 for complexity while they're juggling around with Swindle there.
Tried to get a little cute rather than just all backing.
So we might be a little careful. I mean, complexity, like I said, they have a demolition squad as far as pushing is concerned.
That's actually big for them because Chen's had such a poor game in terms of net worth.
Yeah.
But it gets him basically the mech. Big item for complexity. And they also get much closer to the Radiance. Chessie did opt to go back for the phase boots, which is generally the build, but he kind of made a late decision to go for them.
So is this the part of the game now we have to talk Roche? Who needs it the most right now? Who goes for it? And
Complexity,
why does complexity? Yeah, complexity.
Complexity
needs it a lot.
definitely needs it. Whereas EG, if they can take it away, are in fantastic position, but are not. I mean, it's obviously good if they get it, but they don't need it the same way. You can really justify giving it to the Lone Druid or the Slardar. I would say both are good candidates for carrying the Aegis. Just if you give it to the Slardar, he can play super aggro and go for bold initiations, then have the second life for round 2. And if you give it to the Lone Druid, you just have that Radiance going longer and even more difficult to kill.
All right, time to rid of this tier 1 waypoint from complexity. EG will be able to muscle that one down and will not pursue an additional push. Maybe straight into the Roche pit, it looks like here.
Swindle taking a page out of the Moon Meander playbook with the Midas on Slardar.
Oh,
interesting.
Looking to bounce back, but
Can
he get to the point where he makes something out of this Midas, though, or do you think EG, now they're going to have a Roche, Aegis? I think Universe is damn close already to a Blink Dagger. I feel like he might be just still stuck with a Midas by the time EG could be approaching.
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. One is if he gets a BKB, he can negate I would say the bulk of EG's damage because they're pretty magic and nuke heavy at this stage. So this delay is an item like that could allow him to man up in fights. The other way to look at it is they haven't really gotten that much snowball momentum. The game is not going to end early, and this gives them that extra boost in the late game where maybe he's picking up a BKB and then something like a heart, and maybe gets the AC so the Lone Druid doesn't have to. It gives them a little more momentum. Limp with the Shadow Blade catch here. Big catch out on Arteezy, and he gets clubbed down by the Swindles.
Oh, stolen Wrath of Nature, it looks like, too.
That's big, actually.
That's a big grab there for Z-Freak.
Oh, that root onto Fear. Timely.
He is
Arteezy is buyback if he wants
to make
use
it away here. Chessie trying to slow down Universe.
Is he going to go back in? The team's coming.
They're thinking about it here. Looking to intercept now. PPD with not much places to run. Universe going to be the first target. It looks like PPD with his last dying breath will get the Grave off. But here comes now the Chrono. It was a buyback from Arteezy here. They're looking to commit it now. The Chrono that has been stolen.
Oh, he's dead.
Looks to use back, but no. It is going to be dropped down. Fear going to be the next target here. Fear going to be chomped to bits there from the Mighty Bear. It's actually going to be Swindle Melons who picks up that one. And as he reapproaches the side shop here, Arteezy is going to be forced to double back. If caught out, could be a dieback for the Nature's Prophet. He'll have to self-sprout and retreat. Sumail The last man left behind here will lose his Aegis and potentially will lose his second life. Can he
Oh,
make it
the
back away?
Chen
Nope.
almost stunned him.
He's got the quick blink out, and he's actually looking for Chessie, it looks like. Universe even steps in, keeps the bear.
Chessie cannot afford to die right now. He's got 3,600 gold. He's very close to his relic. He gives up the Spirit Bear, but the hero, ooh, will be okay. And now, after all that, a pause. Whew, what a fight.
Do you think it was like EG got enough out of that to justify the buyback now at this point, and can take this as anything towards the side of complexity? Because it looked like complexity really got a lot.
It's early. You can afford the buyback, so I wouldn't say it's that costly, but I also think complexity still comes out on top. Numbers do reflect it. Main things for me are that the Lone Druid didn't die, so his Radiance is not going to be delayed, and they didn't give up that many track kills in that fight. What was it, 1 maybe?
Did they end up tracking the Rubik? Maybe.
I think they got at most like 1 track kill. So they didn't really give away too much gold to EG. I think Caller quite all right with that fight overall, and it looked like it was not the cleanest execution there. They at first wanted to go on the Dazzle, and then the Slardar was going on the Dazzle, and then Lina started working on him, then was thinking about going back for the Voids. They're a little uncoordinated in the team fight, but Swindle's Midas is starting to pay off now, up to 2k gold. I imagine we'll see the BKB next, and once he has that, he's in fantastic shape.
And then for EG, like...
I like the Shadowblade pickup a lot. I feel like that's been the big
Well,
the big
it's already
item here
paid
for
off
Call.
nicely for him, getting that nice little pick onto Arteezy, but... We see also EG have already put together a string of great items to offer the potential to take it to complexity here with the Blink nearly complete. Blink already done on Sumail. Blink probably nearly complete for Universe now. I think he might have grabbed it and it's en route.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and
it's not as good of a Void game as the last one. Last game they had insane damage between the Ice Blast and the super farmed Lina. This game it's only the Invoker who can really dish it out inside of Chrono, which is where I feel like the Void, not the play hasn't necessarily been that bad, but the hero's impact has been much more underwhelming compared to last game. So I think it goes to show you with the new Void that, you know, he's so reliant on having damage from the team come into the Chrono. Yeah, they have Prophet Ult, that's decent, but I mean it doesn't match up to what they had last time around. So that's the other big thing for me is, and it's also somewhat countered by the Chen, who has a lot of just AoE heals to work with for the team.
Jump in Chrono, dish out everything he can just for it to be perverted back by the sustained power of complexity. And complexity who are stuck in a rout. You're talking about that huge team fight where so much track gold was swung, and complexity have kind of been holding their own here. But here's EG looking to kind of take the reins back in the momentum of this game.
This is the Blink debut.
Boom!
They haven't seen it yet.
Jump in, they get the grab onto Chessie, but it's a quick tail, can he sleep? The meatball going to be dropped in from the mighty heavens above. Stolen Chrono going to be stopping Arteezy in his tracks. Chessie alive and well. Makes it back into base and good. And it's going to be Universe caught out.
Oh!
Time Walk takes back all of that damage. The Laguna absolutely negated, and Sumail gets the pick onto the Rubik. Swindle going to be going down. Both brothers in the grave. Complexity now hold 3, and EG begin to move forward.
They might
for the
high ground here.
Yep. They're going for the high ground now, baby.
Oh, Swindle. All that gold he banked
Get
up.
those tornadoes out there and slow them down. Here comes Chen trying his best to just slow down the roll.
That's cute.
One tornado is going to be stopped. Here comes Evil Geniuses now. Fear. This is out the track. Getting all the insight to how they're rotating on the outside here. Rubik to be back in 1 second time. Swindle still needs 20.
Man, he needs that Radiance bad. If he had it, there's no way EG are trying to fight right now. He's 500 gold off. He'll get it for the next fight, but again, EG striking before the Radiance comes out. That was, it looked like Call could have disengaged, but Swindle wanted to, the timing was a little off where he blinks in and right at that moment, the team's running away. Sumail's had great Invoker control. Deafening Blast hits on 2 there, completely catches out the Slardar. Then he gets cold snapped, and that's where you could see Slardar really does need a BKB. So good news for Call is he doesn't have to buy back.
And it was that awkward start, too. I mean, like, Fear made the committed dive in, and he got the catch for Chessie, but he had help right there. And then Complexity were just that much short from being able to at least take Universe out. But Time Walk, man.
Look at this Bounty Hunter. 7k net worth. He's equal to both Dire supports. Has Greaves and a Gem. And an Urn. 8 charges, by the way. My God.
He's rich. And there it is. The Radiance here. The answer for Complexity. Man, he had to go through a grueling work shift to finally be able to pick it up.
Yeah, the timing's a couple minutes late for sure, at least like 3 to 4. I wonder how much of it is also not getting the Iron Talent, because he has not really died this game. I'd be curious to see like the stats on Iron Talon Lone Druid versus non-Iron Talon. Not sure if anyone's done the math yet, but would be interesting. So they are, at this point in the game, EG's probably going to start to play their stall game now. Find the pickoffs, maybe a little bit less team fighting, as fighting into the Radiance makes things a lot more tricky, but if they can find pickoffs, they'll continue with their existing game plan.
Ooh, EG creeping in. Looks like they have a chrono they want to put to use, and it's going to get another grab onto Chessie here. There's the Sunstrike. There's the Nature's Wrath with the help of the Agnems.
That
Big
roar,
damage,
very nice micro by Chessie.
Hand of God comes out. This bear is bad and hard to break. Can they finish him off? Yes, they can. They'll be able to bring down the mighty Radiance holding Lone Druid, and EG will step back here. They made a swing for Swindle. Swindle heads out the back door, and EG, what, are they considering maybe another push here?
They're just finding the clutch pickoffs. Every time they really need a smoke gank to work, one works. Lone Druid dead for 40, has no buyback because he just bought the Radiance, and EG probably realized that as well.
Nice.
They're going to march up mid. This might be a lane of racks, actually. compLexity's deep push without the bear is quite lacking.
Yeah, all they could do is a jump in from Swindle and hope for a decent follow-up. There's the jump in from Swindle, the follow-up. What's it going to be?
He's got time walk. He's going to be fine.
Pull back in. That's all. That's it. That's over. And now Z-Freak just quickly goes down. That's track gold going the way to EG. Rax in trouble as they're fully exposed here. It looks like EG want to walk away with the melee, but do not want to overstay their welcome. They know they're in full control of this one, and they could have a methodical pace to it and still be rewarded.
Oh, they're going to try for that melee Rax. It is so deliciously low.
Can they do it? Lone Druid's back now, and
they're getting so much track hold. This is look at their net worths. It's unbelievable how far ahead they are now.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked over at Artesian, I saw he had an Agnem Scepter. I didn't even see one of the components for it. It just felt like he flat out bought it on sale.
And with Bounty Hunter, everything's on sale all the time.
I wonder, is he going to build
He's
into
building
like the Octarine Core, or is it
the Bounty?
Like an AC? No, not the Bounty. The Nature's Prophet.
BKB is actually BKB is not that good this game. Yeah, I think Octarine is probably the build.
If not,
gives you a little bit of survivability, keeps the lanes pushed in.
Maybe the casual AC just to help with your
and to help
extra armor against Swindle
well.
Melons, Slardar, and taking objectives. We'll see.
Yeah, once you've already committed to the Ags, especially, the Octarine feels like it's a very value item.
Is he ready for the micro work, though?
Oh,
the Octarine and Ag Springs.
A click. Easy.
All right. EG, not far from home of compLexity. Get another catch. This is like 3 straight chronos just for Chessie, but this time they got the Chen nearby, and they get him back home.
He stole the Dilation. He's going to use it on Universe. Great to have against the Time Walk, but doesn't matter when Universe doesn't have to run away. And that's the Swindle BKB debut. Not very effective so far, I have to say. They're going to turn on him momentarily. No, they just dogpile the racks. Will finish it off, Swindle. Jumping back in, that BKB is about to wear off. There's the Grave Ones keeping Sumail alive, and compLexity unable to find the easy kills.
Fear could be going down now. As a response, compLexity will at least be able to get that one, but I guess it could be a mission accomplished for EG being able to walk away with at least the melee racks. It's the first step in closing this game out and taking it to him. And look at that, Sumail with the snipe.
The no-scope frags from Sumail. Man, you do not want to be playing from behind against this EG draft, that is for sure. They are tailor-made to punish teams that are at a deficit, and at this point, I think you just look at the way things have gone from probably the past like 13, 14 minutes, and it's just been too many pickoffs for EG. You can't give up this many kills against track. That's really the only big issue, I'd say. Otherwise, compLexity has played pretty well, but every little mistake gets so much more punished because of the Bounty Hunter pick.
Quick to respond, though. compLexity, their 3 Swedes, smoke up. And now
are they going to try to? They can't even sneak Roche because there's a tree out there.
Frickin' pumpkin right there.
Get him.
Go away, pumpkin. Okay, he's going away. Nothing comes easy here for compLexity, it looks like. They are going to get the D ward, but
so they got the
jig is up.
Did they buy their own gem, or is that the Bounty Hunter gem?
Well, we can find that gem, and we can see it is PPD's gem.
Okay.
So
I think BH was carrying it for a while.
Yeah, good little take there for Cole to try to reclaim some of the map back for him.
My God. So farmed.
Yeah, EG. An Aegis for them could pretty much put the nail in the coffin here for complexity at that point. So we'll see what kind of fight complexity want to kind of go with here. Do you think it's on them to contest or take a fight outside the base, or is it stall out, get as much as you can on the lone druid, and just hope for another?
They just don't have a good counterplay against Chronosphere. Oh, Lib. In trouble here.
No, swing and a miss on the LSA. He uses himself up, and before he can retreat back, he's going to get blasted from the deafening setup of Sumail. And already, there's going to be no Lina here. Out for 70 seconds, no buyback. Chessie could go down next, and this could lead to the beginning of the end here for complexity if it does continue to go sour, and it looks like it will. Chessie goes down, Z-Freak goes down. Both do have a buyback hands kick. It's going to be the fourth here. Swindle, the last survivor, who's tracked up and hustling back to base here. There's the buyback. This seems to be the all-in for complexity here. If they don't hold, this could be their MDL life, and EG will be moving on to the next round.
They've had a great run in the tournament. They've taken games off of a lot of top teams, but coming down the stretch, EG have had the answers. Going to take this Tier 3 tower, most likely. Sumail with the Alacrity up. As you mentioned, the buybacks have been committed, but complexity, they don't have their BKB currently on the Slardar, so it's really tough to initiate into this. A Blink Crush, and then he's just going to die to Cold Snap and right clicks.
They got to do something, though. Otherwise, they're going home. So Tier 3 goes down. Complexity wait for the opportune moment. They're split. They are doing the best they can with the positioning to avoid any sort of catch up with the Chrono, with the
They're
Invoker
waiting
combo.
for the BKB, but by the time it comes up, the Rax has already dropped to half HP. EG, you're probably going to get it anyway. There's your Blink Crush from Swindle. Does connect on two, but the Bear's on the run. Universe chasing forward. Savage Roar getting cast, but Universe just bashing the crap out of that Bear, and is going to finish it off. Down for 80 seconds. No Bear. No chance.
Sumail barely kept alive with the Grave. They eventually will get him down, but he has done his damage necessary. In fact, he wants to be there for the win. He's going to buy back now. Chessie barely kept alive. PPD says we can get him. He's moving in first. Then Universe going to be quick on the heels there. He is down and out, and that might have done it. Sumail back in action right now. A double kill even from BPD there at the end, but it looks like it will conclude with a 5-man wipe. Complexity eliminated from MDL and EG. In dominating fashion, we'll take this series 2-0 and take it into the next round of the lower bracket.
This one, to me, was just a really... The teamwork was great. It kind of reminded me of some of the Vici Gaming matches from earlier in the tournament. Just really good fighting around the Bounty Hunter vision, hitting their timings. Every time the Chrono was up, they'd go in, just find a Sunstrike pick off, get the track gold. Fear, I think, overall MVP of the series. He's played exceptionally well. He really shut down the Chen this game. And Hanskin, that off-lane camp is just a bitch to D-Ward, apparently. And even when Complexity D-Ward, it looked like they blocked it off themselves. So that off-lane on the Dire side has really made life difficult for them down the stretch.
Do applaud Complexity for their tournament run so far. If you know, they were dealt a different hand, let's say, and they were matched up against a different team that might have been more unfamiliar with Complexity and what they typically bring, I feel like they would have had the upper hand advantage. But this is Evil Geniuses. They've had their run-ins, I'm sure, with Complexity. Hell, they've probably even scrimmed together a lot.
I mean, game one was like, EG just know how to play against the Complexity Enchantress. So that I think really speaks to your point that it's a tough matchup for Call because A, PPD is really good at just counter-picking, and Complexity generally run less conventional drafts, and B, they know them well already. So they're going to be more able to, have a counter ready.
Yep. So, congratulations for EG. They move on. They await their upcoming opponent, and that will conclude our first series. We still have 4 BO3s to get through today of playoff action. Right?
Oh, wow.
4?
I think it's 3 more, isn't it? Is it 4?
3 more. I'm saying 4 total.
Oh, 4 total. Yeah, we got Dota.
I phrased that bad. But 3 more best-of-3s coming. Our next one, I believe, is going to be Secret versus Newbie in the lower bracket.
Yeah, and it's a shaky-looking... Oh, no, Secret, didn't they lose yesterday?
Yeah. So
now they're in the lower bracket.
Yeah.
Right, so
wait, Newbie.
They look very shaky, though.
If this was like other tournaments where the lower bracket was best of ones, I would say that this could be a 50-50 matchup just because Newbie is very surprising kind of a team. They got a lot of draws in their group. I witnessed them firsthand in the China qualifier. This is a team you cannot underestimate, but it is a best of 3. We'll see what Secret can do. People, based on their performance yesterday, it was a bit concerning. It was very different because we knew Secret up to that point were just getting their mid-Earth Spirit, the Spectre/Ember for Envy, and they were just
They
rinse and repeat.
haven't found like that one thing that just works for Secret. You know, like you look at how they were playing going into the Frankfurt Major. It was just like every game the Envy Ember. They had like their pool of heroes for Misery, the Slardar, the Magnus that just worked for the team. They're able to play around it with the Puppy AA really well and just play this like super long game. I feel like Secret hasn't found their strategy.
Well, it feels
or,
like they had their.
pool of
It feels
strategies
like they
yet.
had their one thing, but for a lot of these teams, they have to have a second and a third team to rotate it through. And while we, like for example, looks amazing on mid lane Earth Spirit, Wind Ranger isn't a big deal anymore. We don't see much of that. He hasn't been pulling out the Meepo at all. And those were like the other two backups.
Yeah,
He used to go for like Nanyang.
And
you know?
instead, it's like the Spectre Lone Druid every game for the team. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it works out for them.
They're a team that has great back pocket strats. They pulled out that support Tiny at Frankfurt. We might be seeing something interesting from them when they know it's do or die. I won't be here to cast it. I believe it's going to be a David duo, right? Yourself and Mr. Parker.
We're going to dust off gods, take them off the obs duty, and see what we can cook up.
Should be a good time. So we'll cut to a break. When we come back, MDL action does continue as the playoffs in the lower bracket. It's going to be Secret versus Newbie.